This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So in the yesterday session, we were discussing about certain important topics, areas related to your interview. We talked about automatic payment program yesterday, and then we also discussed some points about FIMM integration. Now let us talk about FISD integration. Normally, whenever we talk about FISD integration, first thing that should strike your mind is accounts receivable. When you talk about accounts receivable, it is all related to customer related transaction. Any transaction, any activity you are performing with customer is part of accounts receivable from the accounting perspective. Accounts receivable can receive the postings directly in the finance side, in short, directly in the FI module, or accounts receivable can also receive the transactions from other module, in short, your SD module. If your SD module is creating an entry in the accounting side, especially in the accounts receivable subledger module into the customer account, that is represented as FISD integration from the SAP perspective. Why we call it as FISD integration? Because your accounting is updated based on the SD activity. Something is happening in the SD module which is creating an accounting impact in the FI module. Now, what is that is going to happening is what is that happening in the SD module which is triggering an accounting in the which is triggering an accounting entry in the FI side, we need to clearly understand. Whenever you talk about any customer, basically what we will do with the customer, we will sell to the customer. Whenever you are selling to a customer, you can either sell an asset, you can either sell a product, or you can sell a service. Majoritarily, your FISD integration is exception for asset accounting. You don't sell assets to a customer. If you're selling asset to a customer, that is not routed through your SD module. It is routed via accounting only. So anything that you're selling an asset to a customer is not part of SD integration, is part of FI only. Then what else we will be selling to a customer which will be part of your SD and FI is only product or service. In short, a material or a service. If you are selling to a customer, that will be part of your SD integration. SD integration is similar to your MM integration. It's just opposite. So first you should look at from the purchasing point of view. Once you have at least basic understanding related to purchase module or purchasing cycle, it's quite opposite because buyer and seller is common in any transaction. Similarly, customer and vendor is also similar and common in any transaction. You either call it as buyer seller or customer vendor, it is one and the same. Without customer, without vendor, there is no transaction. Similarly, if you are treating this as MM integration, on the other side, the same MM integration is represented as SD integration. On the other side, if you are seeing it from the SD integration, on the other side, it will be treated as MM integration because one is purchasing, the other one is selling, or one is selling, the other one is purchasing. You should always understand the dual impact. What is happening on this side and on the other side also. Only then it is practically possible for us to understand what is happening in any business. Assuming that I wanted to purchase something, if I wanted to purchase something, what I will be doing, I will be purchasing from you. If you are selling it to me, according to you it is a sale, according to me it is a purchase. But the same transaction, you are treating it as a sale, I am treating this as a purchase. Now we already understood from the purchasing point of view in the last session. Let us talk it from the selling perspective. Assuming that I want to sell something, or I have got a customer who is asking me to sell a particular product or a service. First point, whenever we are selling anything, this can be either a product or a service. Either a product or a service you will be selling to a customer. Whenever you are selling anything to a customer, if it is a product, it is represented as finished product or a finished material. We don't sell raw material to a customer. We always purchase raw material and we sell finished product to our customer. Whenever you are selling any finished product or any finished material to your customer, always make sure first you will be receiving the order. Customer is going to place an order. When customer is placing an order, customer will tell you which product he or she requires. and what quantity is required, at what agreed price they are asking, and where they want the product to be delivered, on what date it is to be delivered. Once you receive the basic information on the sales order, you will be generating or you will be creating a SO or sales order. When you are creating a sales order, you are going to update different parameters inside the sales order. Though the sales order creation is pure ST related activity, as a FICO consultant, we have to understand certain basic points. When the sales order is created, you will have to give different combinations, like you need to select sales order type, you need to give sales organization, division, distribution channel and all. Apart from that, you need to select who is your customer. Your customer is represented in different ways, which is nothing but partner functions. When you're talking about partner function, you're talking about bill to party, ship to party, sold to party, and then payer. So these terminologies you have to be aware of. Tomorrow somebody might ask you, what is the partner function in SAP SD integration? Then you cannot say, no, I do not know, this is related to SD. You should at least tell bill to party, sold to party, ship to party, and then payer. This is what they expect from us, nothing beyond that. Because they also know it is not related to FI, it is related to SD, but at least we must be aware of it. Without this, we cannot create a sales order. This partner function updation is mandatory in each and every sales order or in each and every ST related accounting document. Once you create this, you will have to update the product that you are going to sell. You are going to put the product which you are going to sell. Whatever the product you are updating, in the order you are going to put a price. Let's say I am selling a product of 10 quantity, or I am going to sell a product of 1 quantity, to understand it easily. Let's say in the sales order, I am going to select the product which I am selling, and I am writing the sale quantity is 1. 1 quantity I am selling, I am writing the sale price as 100. I am writing the price in the sales order as 100. When I write price as 100 in my sales order, now whatever the price that you are updating or whatever the price that you are mentioning in the sales order is always represented as a selling price. Whatever the price we are updating in sales order is represented as selling price. Now when you know the selling price, you will come to know, or the moment your sales order is created, system will give you the sales value. The moment sales order is created, system will understand what is the sales value. How system is understanding the sales value? Based on the selling price that you are giving in the sales order. You will provide the material number, you will provide the quantity, you will provide the price, agreed price with your buyer or with your customer. Let's say one quantity is sold or is going to be sold at 100 rupees, so your sale value is 100. Assuming that you have created the sales order, based on the sales order, what will happen? You are going to check if the product is available or not. If the product is available, you are going to deliver the product to the customer. If the product is available, you are going to deliver the product to the customer. When you deliver product to the customer, there will be an accounting entry. Okay, when you deliver the product, there will be an accounting entry. What accounting entry system will bring here? System is going to pass cost of goods sold account debit and then inventory account credit. Your stock will be credited because your stock is getting reduced. Your stock will be reduced, so that the stock account will get credited. You are expensing out your material. To calculate the profit, you need to remove the value from the balance sheet and then you need to charge it to the P&L as an expense. So you are going to debit by way of cost of goods sold, or COGS, COGS. Your COGS account will be debited, inventory account will be credited. Here, when you are writing this accounting entry, your sales order price is 100. When you write the accounting entry for PGI or goods issue or delivery, your accounting entry will be COGS account debit, inventory account credit. Here we need to understand what amount will be debited. Here you need to understand your accounting entry will be processed with which amount. If we go based on the sales order, our sales order is showing 100, but when you do a delivery or when you do a post goods issue, your accounting entry will not be at 100. Your accounting entry is always less than 100, because in your post goods issue, you are going to debit the cost In the post goods issue, you are going to debit your cost because you are writing cost of goods sold. Whatever the goods that you are selling, that goods cost price or that goods cost you are going to debit. Cost is different, price is different. Cost is different, price is different. Whenever you are talking about cost, cost does not include profit. Whenever you are talking about cost, cost is not including or not inclusive of profit. On the other side, whenever you are talking about price, price is inclusive of profit. In the sales order, what I did, in the sales order, I have written 100. In the sales order, I have written 100. In sales order, whatever you write is called as a selling price. You are talking about selling price. Price including profit. So your 100 is including profit. And when you are writing the accounting entry for delivery, you are going to debit cost of goods sold. This cost of goods sold, here you have a term called cost. Cost does not include any profit. So your selling price 100 is given in the order. Based on the sales order, system will come to know which material you are issuing. At the time of material issue, the material whatever you are using or the material whatever you are selling, system will know what is the cost of it at the time of a sale. At the time of sale, whatever is the cost of the material according to your accounting books, according to material master, it is going to debit that cost. For example, in your material master at the time of delivery, the material cost is 80 rupees. At the time of delivery, if your material cost is 80 rupees, system is going to debit 80. For the cost of goods sold, system is going to credit inventory for 80 rupees because your inventory is valuated with 80 at that particular point of time. Your accounting entry is getting recorded with 80 rupees even though the sales order is with 100 rupees. Now the difference between sales order price and the delivery price is your profit. You are selling for 100 rupees for a product which is costing you 80 rupees. So difference between 80 and 100 is 20. 20 is represented as your profit. This profit is nothing but is called as margin. This profit is also called as margin. Margin on this particular product sale is 20. Based on the delivery, you are going to bill it to the customer. When we are talking about billing, you are talking about creating an invoice or giving a bill invoice to the customer. When you are creating the bill or when you are giving invoice to the customer, it is again your customer account will be debited, sales account will be credited. When your customer account is debited, sales account is being credited, system is going to take sales order price again. Whatever is there in the sales order, it is 100. Your billing document, your customer invoice will be raised with 100 rupees. Customer account will be debited with 100 because you need to collect 100 from the customer. Sales account is credited with 100. Now why we are crediting sales account 100? Because you are selling it to 100. 100 will go and sit on the credit side of your P&L as a sale. Whenever you are writing a sale, you should also put the purchase value. In short, the cost price. The cost of whatever the 100 rupee worth you are selling is 80 rupees. In your P&L, 80 is sitting on the debit side, 100 is sitting on the credit side. Difference between 80 and 100 is 20. 20 is included in your P&L profit calculation by default. Okay, this is basically the accounting flow that comes in your FISD integration. Now, in this process, different parameters we need to understand. When I say different parameters we need to understand, this is the basic level of understanding of your FISD integration. Once we are thorough with the basic level of understanding, then slowly you need to add different scenarios, different points into this. What if I am selling to a customer, but there are different products? If I am selling, let's say 3-4 different products, how system will come to know this total sales price? System will always pick the price from the respective material master. System will always pick the cost or the price based on the respective material master. If you are selling 3-4 products, at each product level, system is going to find out what is the price, what is the cost, and what is the profit margin at each product level. And whenever you're talking about the FISD integration or sales cycle, you should also know something about COPA. You should also know something about COPA because most of the clients, whoever is using SD module, will also use COPA module. Whoever is using SD module will also go with COPA module. What will happen in COPA? COPA is a profitability analysis or margin analysis. When you're analyzing your profits, you can analyze the profit at a different segment level. When I say different, product segment, profitability segment, if I want to know a particular product, whether it is giving me profit or not. Now, this kind of a profitability analysis or this kind of a profitability reports I cannot generate from the FI module. Your financial accounting cannot provide these kind of reports. To get these kind of reports to analyze at this level, we have to depend on COPA module. What will COPA do? It will give you the data based on different dimensions. As your COPA does not have any data on its own, it will receive data from different modules. It will receive the data from different modules like an Excel sheet. If you are working on Excel sheet, what you will do, you will have the data from different sources. You will keep it in one sheet, and according to your requirement, you will just put a pivot table. The way you play with the data on pivot table, in the similar way, you will play with your sales on COPA. Whatever the way you want to analyze your profitability, in the similar way, you can generate, you can derive different COPA or profitability reports. That's the basic functionality of your COPA. You don't need to explain the configuration and all. At least you have to be aware of COPA process. COPA is also part of your FICO. Those who are using FI, those who are using SD, as part of your FI SD integration, data will get transported or data will get updated in COPA module also. These points we have to be aware of, so that tomorrow if somebody is asking you when you are explaining these points, it will hold good value. Instead of saying just like that, I know only FIST integration, I have not worked on COPA, I do not know COPA. It is fine. You can say that you have not worked on COPA, but do not say you do not know about COPA. At least we are aware of the full form of COPA, right? Profitability analysis. Those points, at least if you are able to tell at the beginning, that is sufficient. Okay. Next one, you will be having different points. Like whenever you talk about SD integration, you will get something called account determination. When you're talking about account determination, we need to understand how accounting entry is getting processed or how accounting entry is getting posted. You're going to write accounting entry at two levels. One is at post goods issue level, second one is at billing document level. At the post goods issue level, whatever the accounting entry we are writing, you need to understand how this entry is coming. You're writing cost of goods sold account debit, and then you're writing material account credit or stock account credit. And you need to understand how cost of goods sold account is coming into picture, how material account is coming into picture, where we are updating this account. Your cost of goods sold account, your material account is not coming from FI/SD integration. This is coming from FI/MM integration. Your delivery document or PGI level document is coming from the MM integration setting, not from the SD integration setting. Why MM integration setting? Because at the time of a post goods issue, you are writing an accounting entry to the material. Anything related to material is purely part of MM module, not SD module. MM integration setting we are updating in OBYC. Based on the OBYC setting, your cost of goods sold is debiting. Based on the OBYC setting, your material account is being credited. In your OBYC, we need to understand on what basis we are debiting cost of goods sold account. Right? In OBYC setting, on what condition or based on what transaction we are going to debit cost of goods sold account. Your cost of goods sold account is going to get debited based on any idea where it will, on what transaction it will get debited? Anyone?
Which one, sir?
Cost of goods sold account is getting debited from which condition?
OBYC.
Sir, VKO
Cost
है
of
sir.
goods sold,
PK.
cost of goods sold account. Cost of goods sold,
Which
I have
was it
just
is an
mentioned,
expense?
it is not, cost of goods sold I just mentioned, it is not coming from the SD integration setting, it is coming from the MM integration setting. within integration setting, it is coming from the OBYC setting. In OBYC, you will have different transaction list. Yesterday we
Right.
understood
It's
material account is
GBP,
coming
sir.
from BSX. Correct. Your cost
G-
of goods sold is coming from a transaction called GBB. GBB represents inventory offsetting account. GBB is nothing but inventory offsetting account. In GBB, is it straight away coming, or in GBB there is another mapping?
Another mapping is there.
There are
Right. In
modifiers,
GBB,
sir. We have two types of
So we're
modifiers.
basically using account modifier case.
correct. In GBB, you will find another level which is nothing but VAX, and what is the other one?
BSV.
VBR.
VAY.
VAX will be there, VAY will be there. And in GBB, you will be using VAX, you will be using VAY. You must inform what is VAX. You should also inform what is VAY. Now, why do we use VAX, VAY?
So something one is called for the cost element, something CO assignment. Other is it's like not part of CO, something like that, sir. Not much clear.
Okay. Anyone else? What is VAX, VAY? Where do we use?
Sir, VX is basically for
Material movements, sir.
cases where sales order is
Material movement
So
without
types.
sales
while
order VAY.
material movement we will use.
Types.
No, it has to be a single, this one. One liner, what is it? What is
But the unit
VAX? What is VAY?
If your COGS is a cost
Inward movement,
element, then
outward
we would
movement.
use
Okay, in short, this is
VA.
represented or this is identified based on the cost element. Why cost element? When you're writing cost of goods sold account debit, your cost of goods sold is a P&L account. It's an expense account, right? Your cost of goods sold is a P&L expense account. Whenever you're writing any expense account, whenever you're talking about any P&L account, your P&L transactions can flow to controlling module. If your P&L transactions are flowing into controlling module, you will be creating your P&L account as a cost element, correct? If your P&L account data is going into controlling side, it will go to controlling based on cost element. You can create your cost of goods sold account as a cost element, or you cannot create this as a cost element. If your cost of goods sold is a cost element, or if it is not a cost element, VAX is used for cost element or non-cost element.
It is for non-cost element.
VX is for cost element.
VX will involve cost element.
VAX is cost element or VAY is cost element, because this is how you will get tricky questions in your interview. They'll ask you, why do we use VAX, VAY?
Yeah.
If my cost of goods sold is a
VA,
cost of goods sold,
yes,
how
sir.
do you
VAY
map it?
is for cost element.
Is that right? Can somebody confirm? Is it right? VAY is cost element, VAX is not cost element.
VX cost element.
Hmm. So these confusions you have to eliminate, because this is where people will try to create confusion in your interview. Cost element is VAX or VAY.
Sir, VAY is for cost element.
VAY is for cost element, you're right.
VAX is
VAX is not cost element, VAY is cost element. You need to again understand, even when you're explaining in your interview, make sure during your PGI, your accounting entry will be cost of goods sold account debit, inventory account credit. First you need to tell the accounting entry. After that, this cost of goods sold account is maintained in integration setting. You need to specifically mention. Don't just like that say OBYC. Tell that this account or this entry is coming from the integration setting, which is maintained in OBYC at a transaction GBB and account modifier VAX if the cost of goods sold is a not cost element, VAY if cost of goods sold is a cost element. Only when you explain in detail clearly, especially on these areas, the other person feels that you are clear with the concept, you know how the accounts are coming. Otherwise it's the same like how everybody is telling, like you have by hearted, you just read, understood, blindly remembered the points and then explaining me. Instead try to explain, elaborate wherever possible, so that the other person will get convinced with your explanation. Small changes in your explanation will have huge impact in your interviews, because this is where you will be identified, this is where you will have a different viewpoint from the interviewer point of view. Remember, most of the people will talk in the same way that you're currently talking.
Sir,
Most of the people will talk
what
in the
can be
same
the
way.
use case?
Which one?
What
If you
can be
are
the use case?
using
What
COPA
can be the use case of this both?
for VAX, VAY,
Yes, sir.
so if you are using COPA, the information from your sales, information from your SD will flow to COPA module. COPA is part of controlling, correct? COPA
Yes, sir.
is
Yes.
part of controlling. Anything in controlling can be updated only based on cost element. Am I right?
Right.
COPA will receive the data from SD integration also. At the time of your billing, at the time of your delivery, system is going to transfer the delivery information, billing information to COPA. When
Yes.
system is taking delivery information, billing information to COPA, COPA is part of controlling. Any record to get updated in COPA, or in short controlling, cost element is mandatory. If you are using controlling module, if you are using a COPA, it has to be strictly cost element. So which means VAY will be used.
Okay. And
Clear?
VAX means we are not using COPA.
VAX means you are not transferring it to COPA, or you are not transferring it to controlling module. Both the cases.
The same we are using for general ledger accounting also.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is your debit. It is coming from GBB, VAX, VAY. If it is cost element, VAY. If it is non-cost element, VAX. Similarly, your inventory account. From where the inventory account is being credited, your inventory account is being credited based on the BSX. Your debit into inventory account is going through BSX based on the purchase order cycle. Your credit into inventory account is also going based on the BSX, which means during purchase BSX is going to debit, during sales your BSX is going to credit, correct? It is your BSX which is debiting the material, same BSX is also crediting your material. Next one is your billing document. Once the delivery is completed, you need to perform, or you need to raise the billing document. When you are creating a billing document, your accounting entry will be customer account debit, sales account credit. We need to understand how customer account is coming. Where are we maintaining a customer account? We don't maintain customer accounting anywhere. Customer accounting is taken from the sales order, correct? When you are creating the sales order, customer account becomes mandatory. Because you are getting the order from the customer, your sales order must contain a customer account. Your customer account is directly coming from the sales order. So sometimes people will also ask this question, from where system will get customer account? You should not be blank for this question all of a sudden. Because according to us, FIMM integration is OBYC, FISD integration is VKOA. But now you understood, in FISD integration, only one part is coming from VKOA, the other part is coming from OBYC. In billing document, your customer account is not coming from VKOA, it is coming from your sales order. During the sales order, you will update the customer account. Customer account is always coming from the sales order and it will get debited. On the credit side, you have sales account or a revenue account. When you talk about sales account, when you talk about revenue account, to update sales account, to update revenue account, you have 5 key combinations, right? You have 5 key combinations. You have any idea what are those 5 key combinations? Anyone? Anybody remember those 5 key combinations of SD accounting determination for revenue account?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's account assignment group for customers, chart of accounts, account assignment group for materials, and the condition type, I guess, and the revenue account. That's it, sir.
No, my question was, there are 5 key combinations based on which you can update the GL account. And this is very important from your
Uh,
SD account determination point of view.
yes, sir. One account key will be there.
But if I go to this, only the first 5 you need to remember. Let me select. Only this first 5 you need to remember. The remaining one, just ignore it. Only the 5, whatever you are able to see there, these 5 they want you to explain on what basis, on what combinations you are going to assign revenue account in your SD integration. One is your customer group, material group account key. The other one is customer group account key, material group account key, only account key on general basis. Majoritarily, we will be using the first two. Majoritarily, we will be using first two. Customer material account key or customer account key. And we need to understand where is customer group is assigned. The next point that somebody wants to put you cross questioning, they will ask you, where do you maintain customer group? Customer group is maintained in your customer master data, correct? Customer group is assigned in customer master data. Material group is assigned in material master data. In customer
Yes,
master
sir. Yes.
data, you have got 2 segments. Your accounting segment will be there, sales segment will be there. In the sales segment, you are going to update customer account group. In the material master, we will be assigning material assignment or material account assignment group. Based on this key combination, system is going to identify the GL account. These points they want you to explain, and again, if you are able to tell only the 5 points, that is fine, but they will not be okay with it because everybody will tell this 5. Everybody will tell this 5 because everybody knows they are going to ask FIST integration. Only these points are not sufficient. Everybody will remember by heart all these points. When I am telling these points, my next question may be, which table will store this information? Any idea the table for this setting? Anybody, any idea which table will store this FISD integration?
So it's T030.
No.
Okay.
T030 is for FIMM integration settings.
Okay. FIMM. Okay. FISD.
Now, if you look at the 5 combinations, how these 5 combinations are identified? What is the identification on SAP? First one, what is the 3-digit identification code?
Account
001. 001.
001, 002, 003, 004, 005. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You just add a prefix C. C001 will be the table for first one. C002 will be the table for second one. C003 will be the table for third one. C004, C005. For FIMM integration, only one table, T030. For FI-SD integration, there are 5 tables, C001 until C005, each table for the respective key combination. Clear? This is one point you need to remember. After that, if there are any other account determination, if I say any other revenue account determination, for example, if I wanted to add any other revenue on this, what are the other possible revenue accounts in billing document apart from sale? Any idea? Apart from sale, any other revenue account
Discount, sir.
in
Discount.
discount, correct? Any other?
Rounding of
Discount,
GM,
rebate.
Commission,
TCS,
Rebate, discount,
TCS.
commission,
commissions. So in short, any other accounts that you are getting apart from sales. Now you may get this question also. What are all the other revenue accounts that you can maintain in VKOA apart from sales? You cannot be blank at this question, because everybody tells sales account is maintained in VKOA. Is this VKOA used only for sales account or for any other account? Any other revenue account?
Freight revenue.
Right. If I go to this, now which account keys are we going to use here? If it is sales, which account key will be used?
ERL.
ERL will be used for sales account. Next, if it is freight, ERF. If it is any other discount, if it is any other deductions that you are going to put ERS. These three, if you remember, that is more than enough. ERS for other deductions like discount and all, ERL for sales account, ERF for freight revenue. These 2-3 points only they expect from you, nothing beyond this. Nothing beyond this. These 2-3 points, if you remember, if you are able to list out on a piece of paper, if you include during your explanation, that will add more value in your interview. It should not be that I am putting a cross question, then you are able to tell me, will give me not a convincing opinion. I want you to explain me all the possible relevant points even before I ask you, so that I feel that yes, there is nothing to ask. I got to know that you have thorough understanding on this. So when you explain all these kind of a points, small points, this is not a big deal. There is nothing mystery in this. It's a simple, straightforward point. But the moment you start explaining these points in your explanation, remember, you don't even get any cross questions. They'll not even ask any cross question. They'll straight away go to next topic. They don't even touch anything in this area. They'll go to next area. They'll tell that I'm fine with you. Do you have any questions? They will tell you are shortlisted, because they are clear, they understood by your explanation that you have good understanding, you have good knowledge on the system. I know everybody knows, everybody is preparing, everybody is learning and coming to interview. This is the open fact which everybody knows, correct? How you are showcasing your knowledge in the interview matters a lot. For this, you don't need to practice, you don't need to sit hours and hours. You just need to prepare in an effective way, prepare in a different way. When you're explaining to me, you create an impact that I will get attracted to your explanation, your points. So that I feel that, okay, these points are all the valid points which are relevant. Now he is not talking everything, he is talking about only the points which are important. Because you will talk only those points only when you know the practical understanding of it. Am I correct? Otherwise, we do not know where to filter, what points to cover, what points not to cover. We will end up telling everything. So this filtration is what you have to understand based on the question, based on the other person. Make sure you will change your explanation, you will explain, you will try to convince the other person. If possible, try to take an example, write accounting entries, take some values, try to convince them. because they want to see that you are putting some effort to convince them. It's not only that you are talking and you are expecting that this is what I know. You try to understand from your own side, from your own perspective. That should not be the case. If you feel that I am giving you cross questions, say that let me take one example. Try to take an example. If I am selling, if I receive an order from XYZ customer for 100 units, for 100 per unit, then I will tell a sales order will be created, material master will be there, we will be using finished material for it. For customer master, we need to create two roles. BP role will be there for FI, BP role will be there for SD customer. And for the SD integration point of view, what elements are required in the customer master? You tell that order currency is required, account assignment group is required, pricing procedure is required, payment terms are required. Mention that these points are required in the customer master. In the material master, account assignment group will be there. It will be a finished product. Then you mention in the sales order, this will be given. Based on this, system is going to create a delivery document. During delivery document, it is going to debit cost of goods sold. Assuming the sales order price is 100, it will not take the price from the sales order. It will pick the price from the material master. If the selling price is 100, assuming material master price is 80, it will debit cost of goods sold with 80. It will reduce material quantity at the rate of 80. And this will be reduced from your balance sheet. The amount will be charged to your P&L. Then when you create a billing document, your billing document will be generated at 100 rupees per unit. So the difference between delivery document and billing document will result the profit. Because in the delivery document, you are debiting to P&L cost of goods sold. In your billing document, you are crediting to P&L by sales. Sales minus the cost of goods sold will be your profit. This is how you need to explain when you are conveying, so that the other person gets connected easily with your explanation, so that they don't have to put any cross question. How do you know if you are making profit? If I want to find out what profit I made from a particular sale, how do I get my profit? And they might start giving you the points, like assuming the order is created for 150 rupees and the material price is 145 rupees. How system will determine that this is profit? Where can I see the profit? Now all of a sudden we may go blank for these questions, because according to us, our explanation, our understanding is different, but in the interview their questions are different. Instead, if you're adding all these points in your explanation itself, they don't want to put any cross question, because majoritarily cross questions will come to check these points what we are talking now. Only on these areas, to check your understanding, you will be receiving the cross questions. Even before I put any cross question, if you are explaining me all these points, why will I put any cross question? I don't put any cross question. I'll simply skip the topic, I'll go to next topic. This is what every interviewer will do. When we are not adding key points in our explanation, that is where you will be cross questioned. What is this? What is this? Because I understood that whatever you are explaining is only the basic part. I cannot say that you are good at this particular topic based on your basic explanation. I need to see the different points understanding in that topic. So that is why I will be putting different cross question. If I am putting cross questions from my side, I may put any question. Because I do not know what is your level of understanding, I may put any question. But if you are giving me all these points in your explanation only, no need for me to put any cross question. Even if I put cross question, it's only from your explanation. Whatever you are telling, only on that I will be asking further information. Why like this? Why you are maintaining it? How it is determined? Same point, little more elaboration I want from your explanation. Remember to prepare on each of the points whatever we are updating here in this similar way. Okay, this preparation will not take much time. Once you have thorough configuration practice for at least one or two company codes, understanding and preparing at this level will not be a big task. But if you have not practiced, then it will be a tricky task. We will get into unnecessary confusions. But if you practice at least one company code at least one time, all these areas, you can easily extract the key points from each topic. Only those key points you need to explain. If you are explaining on those key points, if you're talking those key points with simple example, that is more than enough, because they wanted to see your understanding, your clarity on these areas, nothing beyond that. They don't want to see how you can configure it. They just wanted to see whether you are clear with the concept of integration, APP, asset accounting, BRS, taxes, BP, whatsoever. So when you are talking, I'll come to know your level of understanding, your confidence. If I'm fine with it, if I find that you're confident, your understanding is good, I will be okay with you. Clear? Any questions so far? Vinod?
Ajay, can you write down the tables actually? So
Table
any
is
con
C001,
uh,
C00123455.
so any config where how you find out the table actually and the real time?
You just need to press F1 there. If I come here, let's say
Hmm.
if I put F1 here, if you click on this technical information, it is giving table name C005.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not writing because I want you to start remembering. That's the only reason I'm not writing, but I will write. Slowly I will start writing the short points about each topic. But once we are done with our explanation or discussion, then we will list out all the possible points exclusively from the interview point of view. Just one liners we will write.
No, if you
Yeah.
just give the logic how to find out the table, so it will be easy for us like in future.
Just press F1 on any field. Let's say you want to know the table for this. Just click on the question mark and click on this fourth icon, technical information. You'll get to know the table of any field where it is getting recorded.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any questions on what we've discussed so far? It's only to give you an idea how you need to prepare. It's not that this is the only it. There will be a lot about this, but this is just an idea how you will have to prepare, how you have to explain if somebody is asking you. Same points, but we are trying to explain, elaborate a little more wherever it is actually required, so that you will avoid cross questioning in your interviews. Otherwise, we will get a lot of cross questions. You talk about one point, then they will start asking you different questions, or they will start giving you the different requirement scenario they want you to explain. But if you are doing all this from your end, they will not do anything. They will tell, okay, fine. You don't even feel that the interview is very tough. It all depends on how you are talking in the interview. Yeah. Dinesh?
Yes, sir. I have question regarding that account modifier. Is that also applicable in S4HANA for account-based COPA and costing-based COPA?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Vinod?
Sir, okay. So the cost of goods sold is not equal to inventory value, right? Cost of goods sold equal to inventory plus production expenses plus some other expenses, right?
No, in your delivery document, cost of goods sold is equivalent to inventory value. But in generic,
Okay.
you're right. But in this accounting entry, your accounting entry is straightforward. Cost of goods sold debit, inventory credit. There is no third line there, correct?
Yeah. Okay. So like this is trading goods, like we will buy and we will sell.
For anything, even if you're producing it, after loading all these charges, your direct expenses, whatsoever, your finished product is coming out. When you're talking about finished product, it is inclusive of everything, inclusive of your direct
Okay.
cost and all.
Uh, just okay, fine. I think this only, right, sir? I didn't get actually.
Which one?
Like this, the cost of I heard that cost of goods equal to that inventory plus some other expenses. Then after that they
No.
will add the
In
profit. Then
in
they
that
will
case,
sell
it
it.
is your raw material plus other cost. If you're talking about
Correct, correct.
inventory, in that case, it is your raw material plus conversion cost. When I say conversion cost,
Yes.
any other direct expense which is adding value to your raw material is called as conversion cost. Raw material plus conversion cost is equivalent to finished product. Finished product cost is also called as your cost of goods sold.
Okay, got
Clear?
it, sir.
Yeah.
So now this raw material will come OBYC BSX. Other cost how it will come?
Other cost is coming based on your product costing. When you are creating the finished product, or when you're creating any material, you will have something called costing sheet, costing variant and all from the product cost point of view. While creating the material, let's say if I'm creating a finished product, I know that how my finished product is manufactured or what components are forming my product value, my cost. Let's say if I'm selling a laptop, for me to sell a laptop, for example, I know that my selling price of the laptop is around 30,000. That does not mean my cost can also be 30,000. My cost will be less than my selling price. Correct?
Yeah.
Now, there are two ways that I can get this product. Point number one, I can manufacture the product. Point number two, I can buy the product. Correct?
Yes.
If I am manufacturing the product, I need to know the components. When I say the component to produce a laptop, what and all I need? I need to know the list of raw materials. Like
Yeah, bomb.
I
We say
need
bomb, right?
keyboard,
Bill of it.
screen, all these things I need. So this is nothing but your
Bomb.
components. Component is nothing but raw material. I need raw material. Each raw material will have its own cost.
Yes, I guess. So what this bomb only,
Okay.
right? Bomb. We will
BOM,
say that
correct. Bill
bomb,
of material. Yes.
bill of material.
Bill of material, correct. So this raw material I
So
need,
those
and
are,
then I need different activities. RM
yeah,
cost
that is
plus
relating
activity
to bomb
cost.
relating to material. We do have some other
Correct.
expenses.
Right.
Fuel, consumable will come. After that, salary will come. How it will?
So you
Will
have
it come
template
in like in the
allocation.
cost of?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How this will come like other salary? Generally, I'm asking. If they ask us how the other, so you told me you give me for material. We have other expenses also. How it will come? That's it.
So you have to inventorize these expenses. So when you are inventorizing, you have different costing techniques, costing methods to allocate this to the order, because your finished material is coming by way of production order. Like you are producing the material. In case if you are doing, then you will be adding different cost, and you're settling the cost to the order. When you're settling cost to the order, your order will be settled to the finished product at the end. The similar way you have internal order AUC concept, the more or less the similar concept is applicable for your product costing also. So everything you are going to load to your order. From your order, the cost will be allocated to your finished product. In short, the total
Okay, got it.
breakup of
Got
the cost is handled or is identified based on the internal order, not internal order, your production order.
production order. So all this material plus other expense will be moved to semi-finished goods, right? Like internal order.
No. Finished goods only directly. You will
Finished
use
order. Single finished
either
will
raw
come. That finished
material
goods will
or finished goods during your manufacturing process to produce the finished product.
come. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, see,
Okay.
for material we know the standard price and moving prices. Like that, do we have in SD also?
No, SD is no, for material it is the same price. For any finished product, it is strictly recommended you will use it standard price. If you're not a manufacturing company, if you are a product based, if you are a trading based company, you can use moving average price also, where the price keeps on fluctuating, right?
Correct.
So in that case, you can use
Okay. Suppose if
moving
it is
average price also.
okay, fine.
Go ahead.
Suppose if it is standard price is there, will PRD will come into picture?
No, PRD will not come during your this one sales. Majority it will come during your purchases, because during your sales it is straightforward, right? You're not evaluating this.
Yes.
Your evaluation comes during your costing. Costing will come until you sell the product. The moment you are selling the product, PRD is ruled out. Until you find out the total cost of your product, you are going to evaluate, you are going to consider different price differences. When you are selling the material, you already know the cost of it. You already freezed the
Yeah.
cost.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So last question. See, for the transaction, cost of goods debit to inventory. In that, BSX will come for the inventory, and what will come for the cost of goods sold? Will it come or?
GBB,
Okay.
GBB, VAX, VAY, based on the cost of goods sold being a cost element, not a cost element.
Yeah. Okay, sir. I guess.
Yeah.
Hello.
Ganga.
The standard.
Hi, Ajay. So
Yep.
my question is, in real time, who will be maintaining these pricing conditions? Is it the SD consultant
SD
or
guy. SD consultant will maintain. We will be only maintaining VKOS setting.
okay? So while we are doing the unit testing, so we can reach out to SD consultant for the this pricing condition details, right?
Correct. The SD consultant will tell us what are all the conditions that they have created, and
Mhm.
in case if they need any specific condition to be included in the sales order, they will discuss with us. This is what we are
Okay.
planning to include in our pricing procedure. We need to post this condition to a different GL account. Please maintain it. Then you are going to understand what is this, whether it is a cost or it is revenue, where your client wants to say it. Accordingly, you will maintain another record for that condition. You will create a respective account key and you will update the GL account for it.
Okay.
Ashutosh.
Hi Ajay. So I want to understand in these pricing we maintain taxes and all also in the system, right? So would those pricing such as GST, HST and all those pricing or taxes related thing, would that be created by SD consultant or FI consultant would also be involved in that process?
In the SD cycle, the tax related settings are maintained by SD consultant, and what we will do, we will only create a tax code.
Okay.
Okay, for all this condition, they will be maintaining all the tax conditions in what is that V/02.
Mm-hmm.
There is a T code, right?
Yeah.
Anybody remember the T code? V/?
For what, sir? FTX.
No, for the tax code mapping for the SD conditions. V/02 or 03. There they will maintain. Based on that, system is going to determine the condition record, and then it will identify on that particular date which condition. I'll show you now. not V/01. What is the T code? PF01? Not VF01.
Sir, VK11, I think.
VK11.
The condition report.
Yeah, this one. Here they will be maintaining the condition record. Normally, your condition record majority will be MWST. Okay, so based on that, they will pick this key combination. Okay, if it is local taxes or export, domestic accordingly. And here they will update tax code. These tax codes are created by us. Tax percentage is updated here. This condition record validity period. From here, system will pick your taxes in the billing documents. In short, your SD document. The similar mapping will be there for your MM.
Okay. So for
Okay, for
maintaining the
SD
condition.
related taxation, SD consultant is involved. For MM related taxation, MM consultant will be involved. Only for the FI, where there is no sales order, purchase order, direct accounting entries, that is where the FI consultant straight configuration involvement will be there. Otherwise, for the taxation, FI, MM, SD will work together.
Okay.
Because they need to update the condition records and all in their respective pricing procedures and all. Clear?
Okay. Yeah. Another quick thing, Ajay. So generally in interviews, the interviewer asks, have you worked on any kind of development or customization? So are we going to learn a little bit of detail about those things as well?
Yeah, I will add it here. I'll add in the same sequence, I'll talk about them.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Ajay.
Yeah. Dinesh?
Yes, sir. Regarding taxes, we have two process. One is called, I mean, the two tax procedures. One is called the condition based, other is called the formula based, right? So this VK11, I think one is FV11. So which one should we use, sir? Should we use FTXT for the code creation, or so like, are these two different thing, or this is the same thing, sir? It's confusing thing actually.
See, if you are using formula based tax procedure, the tax rate will be maintained in FTXP. When you create the tax code, if you are in the tax formula based tax procedure, in the tax code itself, tax percentage is maintained. Okay.
Yes.
If you are using condition based, you are updating the tax percentage in the condition level, which means same tax code can have different tax rates.
Okay.
Because the same code you are going to use in different conditions. Here, if you go to VK11, here I am using MWST. Like this, I may have different conditions.
Yeah.
For different key combinations, I'll be using the same tax code. Otherwise, for every combination, I will end up creating multiple tax code.
Yeah.
So normally we
Okay.
will be
So if
using
there is any,
condition based.
yeah, if there is any like rate change, the tax rate change, if you are using the formula base, in that case we have to create the new tax code, right? But if you are using the condition based, we don't have to create the new tax code.
Correct. Here you will just play with the validity dates because you have the validity date. You will put until today it is 5%. From tomorrow onwards it will be 8%. Something like that. You will update the validity based on your transaction date. It will look for the respective condition record, whatever is valid. Accordingly, the rate will get picked up.
Okay, sir. Again, sir, there are two transaction codes. One is VK11, which you already opened. One more is, I think, FV11 something. Which
That is for
one?
the FI related transactions. This is for the SD related transaction.
What do we need to maintain in FV11, sir? Like apart
FE11, your
from
direct
FTXP.
yeah.
Okay.
In FTXP, if you are
Like,
working on condition based, FTXP you will only create a tax code, you will leave it.
okay.
no percentage is updated in the FTXP. Percentage is maintained in the F11. You go to F11, let's say you have input GST, or let's say CGST, SGST. For every GST, for every tax, there is a respective condition.
Right.
Correct? So at every condition
Yes, sir.
level, you are going to update the tax rate in FV11. Percentage is taken from the FV11 if you are on the condition based. If you are on formula based, in FTXP itself, you will update the percentage.
Yes, sir. So, sir, mostly the condition-based tax process is only used, right?
Correct. Majoritarily, only that is used. You're right.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Prashant?
Yeah, sir, good evening. Sir, my question is for the yesterday class for FIMM integration, where you have mentioned there is a non-valuation and non-stock. So the non-valuation stock is just where the quantity is updated but does not impact any value.
Correct.
What about the non-stock in such if I'm talking about in a layman language, so it means the quantity is update. The quantity is
Value
not update. The
updates?
value is update only.
Correct, correct. In short, the
So
service material, you can say.
okay, okay. But sir, if I'm talking about the service material point of view, so can we not consider it as a non-valuated material, sir?
No, you are valuating the money, no? Whenever you put that service code, you are putting the price for it, right? It
Okay,
is if your material is triggering the accounting entry, it is called as valuated. If it is
correct.
not a triggering accounting entry, it is non-valuated. And if you are updating a quantity, it is a stock. If you are not updating the quantity, non-stock.
So can you give us just an example of a non-stock, sir?
Let's say any service you can talk. Let's say I am talking about, I would say any consumable materials. For example, you have printer everywhere, right? In your office. Now, in
Okay,
your printer, you need to have, what is that? The papers,
photo
A4 size sheet
paper
papers you
A4.
need, paper unit, for
Correct,
example. Now, you're not going to count the stock of it, how many papers are required, because these are direct consumables. You don't need to maintain how much you purchased, what is the available paper quantity and all, correct? Huh? Because you're not
correct, sir.
taking this into balance sheet.
Correct, correct, sir. Got it.
So these kind of things you will be counting as non-stock material. It's a material only, but you're not going to consider this stock count of it. You're only going to see the monetary value of it, not the quantum of it.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay, sir. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Prashant?
No, sir, I have already done. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Vinod?
Sir, this one you said that non-valuated material. Sir, everything will be valuated only, right? We are paying money. What is the example for
No,
this?
valuated in the sense, now when you're talking about material, material is a balance sheet item, correct?
Sure. Balance sheet, yeah. Inventory, current
Right?
asset, or
So, right. Sometimes it will not, we will not take it to balance sheet. You will just expense out. Like as we just discussed, the stock paper, A4 size sheets. You will not show this A4 size sheet as your asset, right?
yeah.
So this is where you are going to take as non-stock material. Sometimes you will have non-valuated material where you are going to record it only for the update purpose, but there will be no accounting entry for it. No value will be recorded, only the count quantity will be updated. This I'll give the different examples practically when we are on the system, because theoretically these points will lead to confusion.
Yes, sir. Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Right, the
Sir,
base
actually, I
point
have
will get
other.
disturbed if we talk a little more about this. That's why I'm just parking certain points.
Okay, sir, no problem. Sir, actually, I have
Yeah,
other question not relating to FIMM SD. Just
ask quickly because I'll have to start the other session now. Running
Okay,
out of
sir.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. So
Put your
actually,
question.
so
So
in
time permits, I'll answer. Otherwise,
yeah.
I'll give you the answer in the next session.
Okay, okay, sir. If we have two bank account, how many GL account we create? Like that question.
Hmm.
If I
Bank
have two
account.
bank accounts, main account in income and outgoing. So if I have 10 bank accounts, how many GL account open?
For one bank account, it will be 3 GL account.
For every bank, you will be having 10 GL accounts dedicated. Based on your payment process, you will be deciding how many GL accounts are required. You will be needing minimum as one main account. Second one is your incoming account. Third one is outgoing account. But you don't directly create incoming account. It is again based on the mode of payment. If you are talking about check, this will be your incoming for checks. This is incoming for check, outgoing for check. Similarly, you may also have bank transfers, correct? Getting my point?
Yeah, yes, sir. Bank
Similarly,
transfer, wire transfer.
based on the mode of payment, you are going to have for every mode of payment one incoming, one outgoing. Otherwise, how will you do your reconciliation? How many checks are received? How many checks are issued? How much transfer you have done? How much transfer you have received? If there is any other mode of payment, you will be creating the respective incoming, outgoing. But you don't put common incoming, common outgoing. It is always based on the payment method. That is why you will be blocking or you will be allocating 10 accounts for every bank account. Clear?
Each bank.
For each bank, 10 GL accounts will be allocated.
Oh,
Whether you
okay. So
use or you do not
HDFC
use.
incoming, outgoing, incoming transfer, SBI incoming, outgoing, incoming, like that. Same.
And here you will be adding, let's say this is for HDFC bank account. All are for HDFC. Similarly, if you have another SBI bank account, same set of GL accounts will be used for SBI. Different number. Let's say in short.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Got it right? Let's say 10 to 19 for one bank account, 20 to 29 for another bank account, and 30 to 39 for another bank account. Likewise, for every bank account, you will be using 10 accounts based on the nature of payments that you are using. Let's say in HDFC, you are using only checks. There is no transfer payment allowed in check. Sorry, in HDFC, you are not receiving any transfers. You are using it only for the check purpose. You will be creating only 3 accounts here. Because the transfer is not relevant here, you don't create the GL account. When you are starting to use it, then you will add the next GL account because you have sufficient accounts to meet the requirement. Correct? In case if this is your
Yes.
SBI, in SBI you are using checks plus transfer, then you will be ending up creating 5 accounts here.
But the transfer will be the common account, Ajay. It is not like you can applicable for all bank account, no? Like main bank.
No. It is based on the bank. For every bank, there will be a dedicated GL account.
What
Otherwise,
about
BRS cannot be performed.
the interest received? It will be like common, or you will be create like separate for each main bank.
Which one?
Interest received.
Those are P&Ls. P&Ls are common accounts. These are balance sheet accounts that we're talking about. Bank is your balance sheet. For balance sheet, you will be blocking 10 accounts for every bank. Your interest received, commission received, bank charges, those are all P&L account. All P&L accounts are common for all the accounts. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, sir, I'm getting a confused. You are talking about in the sense where we are not using the account, the GL account type is C. You are talking in this
Yes. I'm
sense,
not talking about C. I'm not talking about cash. I'm talking in a generic way, which is
generic way.
commonly
Okay,
used.
understood.
and
Understood, sir.
in S4HANA. Yeah.
Understood. And sir, one last more thing, sir. Today you have did a session of FISD integration, sir.
Yes.
Yes. So, sir, when will I get a recording of this session because I could not attend this session?
I will share it after this second session completes. Maybe
Okay.
after 2 hours, I'll share this.
Okay. No issue, sir. No issue. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fine then. Let me stop this. We'll continue for the weekend session now in 5 minutes.